Welcome to the Wellness Protocol, your source for guidance on metabolic health, hormones, and longevity. I'm Dr. Alessia Roehnelt, double board certified endocrinologist, and on each episode, I'll share simple tools rooted in science and experience to help you feel better, live longer, and take control of your health. Welcome back to the Wellness Protocol. I'm your host, Dr. Alessia Roehnelt, and today we are diving into something that affects every single one of us, whether you're aware of it or not. If you feel tired all the time, if you're gaining weight, even if you're eating well, if your mood is unpredictable, if your sleep is off, if your periods are different, if you just don't feel like yourself, this episode is for you. We're talking about the hidden hormone disruptors in your everyday life. Not obvious things, not the big diagnoses. I mean the things that quietly chip away at your energy and metabolism over the years, sometimes decades, until one day you wake up and you think, what happened? Why do I feel like this? Why do I feel exhausted all the time? This episode is not meant to overwhelm you. It's meant to open your eyes in a way that's empowering, not scary. Because once you see the patterns, once you understand what's happening behind the scenes, everything about your health starts to make more sense. So let's get into it. I want to start with a simple truth that I don't think we say enough. Your body was not built for the world you're living in right now. Your endocrine system, your hormones, it evolved in a very different environment. One with real food, with predictable rhythms, with natural light, far fewer synthetic chemicals. And today, we live in a world of artificial light at all hours, chemicals in our food, in our air, in all of our products, chronic stress, ultra-processed foods, less sleep, less sunlight, less movement for sure. And I want you to think about this from a hormonal perspective. Hormones don't just work or not work. They're constantly responding to the environment around you. They're reacting to light, they're reacting to food, temperature, stress, movement, sleep, chemicals, everything. So when your environment is chaotic and unpredictable, or artificial or stressful, your hormones are constantly trying to adapt. And they can do that for a while because the body really is incredibly resilient. But at some point, the system just starts to get tired. It starts to get confused. It starts sending the wrong signals or no signals at all. This is why so many women in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, they start to feel like their body is suddenly changing. It really didn't change suddenly. It's just been accumulating these stressors very slowly, very quietly. And eventually you just hit a threshold. And that threshold looks different for everyone. But once you cross it, you really feel it. And that's why awareness is so important, because awareness gives you access to your power again. So let's start with one of the biggest, most underappreciated hormone disruptors, which is plastics, and specifically plastics plus heat. I talk about this all the time because it's one of the simplest things you can change, yet it has one of the biggest impacts on our bodies. Most plastics, even the BPA-free ones, contain chemicals that can interfere with hormones like estrogen, testosterone, thyroid hormones, insulin, you name it. They're called endocrine disruptors because they literally disrupt your endocrine system. But here's the part that most people don't know. Those chemicals dramatically increase when plastic is heated. So it's not just what you're drinking from a plastic water bottle. It's that the bottle was maybe sitting in the car all day in the hot sun, or you microwaved your frozen veggies in a bag, or your leftovers went into the microwave in a plastic container. And the thing is, people don't feel this immediate reaction. It's not like you heat plastic and you suddenly get a symptom. But the accumulation over time is what really matters. It's this slow drip of chemical exposure that starts to mimic hormones or block hormones in your body or confuse your cells. And if you're already dealing with thyroid issues or perimenopause or PCOS, insulin resistance, diabetes, or just the normal hormonal shifts of your late 30s and beyond, these exposures will hit even harder. Now, I know the moment I say this, people start to panic over the entire kitchen. And I'm not here to make you feel stressed or panic over every single item in your home. But I want to just tell you that when you reduce your biggest exposure, things you do every single day, your hormone burden decreases in a really noticeable way over time. So when you're reheating your food, use glass. If you're grabbing a water, choose stainless steel. If your plastic containers are scratched or cloudy, that is your sign to throw them out. This is a small change, but it will really make a huge hormonal payoff. Now let's talk about fragrances. And when I say fragrances, I'm not just talking about perfumes. I'm talking about your laundry detergent, your dryer sheets, your cleaning sprays, candles, air fresheners, hair products, body wash, soap. It's really endless. The problem isn't that fragrances can sometimes be irritating for some people. It's that they contain this complex blend of chemicals that companies aren't required to disclose. That's why you see fragrance listed as one single ingredient. But behind that word, there might be 20 to 50 chemicals. And many of those chemicals interfere with hormone signaling, especially estrogen and thyroid hormones. What I notice clinically is that women who are feeling really overwhelmed hormonally, whether they're getting heavy periods, they're having a lot of PMS symptoms, or mood fluctuations, or sleep disturbances, they're often surrounded by fragrance exposure all day long without even realizing it. So think about it. Your laundry detergent, it's on your clothes, your sheets, your towels, meaning it is on your skin all day. Your cleaning products, those are inhaled. Your shampoo is absorbed through your scalp. Your scented candles are releasing compounds that affect the air that you're breathing. And again, the point here is not to create fear. The point is to become aware of what's around you so that you can make some changes. People are often shocked when they switch their laundry detergent first. Just that one thing. And suddenly their skin is clearer, their headaches improve, they feel less puffy. Sometimes they even notice mood changes. And laundry is one of the biggest exposures because it sits on your body all day long. So if you feel overwhelmed about where to start, laundry is just one step. Another that I find really helpful is making sure that your dishwasher detergent is a non-toxic product. Many soap residues are left on your dishes after they come out of the dishwasher, after they've been cleaned. If you've ever picked up a glass from your dishwasher that's supposed to be clean, but you smell it and you can smell soap or chemicals on it, there is a residue that's unfortunately left behind. And if you're using a product that is not clean, then you are ingesting that product with every meal, with every beverage, every scoop with that spoon or bite with that fork. So making sure you're using a dishwasher detergent or a dish soap that is a clean, non-toxic product is really important for your health. So now let's switch to some food items, specifically ultra-processed foods. If you think about your hormones as a communication system, ultra-processed foods basically stop that signal or they jam that signal. They confuse insulin, they create inflammation, they affect gut health, they spike your blood sugar and then drop it suddenly. They even change the way your brain responds to hunger and fullness. And once that hormonal communication starts to break down, you start to get more cravings, especially sugar cravings. You start to feel more fatigued. You have blood sugar spikes and dips. You can become more irritable. You might notice you're starting to gain more belly weight. You might have more issues sleeping. And this happens even if you're eating the healthy versions of processed foods, like granola bars or protein bars, flavored yogurts, quote, healthy cereals, plant-based snacks, coffee creamers, all of it. I'm not telling you to stop eating everything that you enjoy, but ultra-processed foods are designed to override your natural hormonal cues. So this is literally how they're designed and engineered. They are engineered to keep you eating more, to keep you wanting more, and to keep you buying more. And for women between 35 to 60, 65, who are already more sensitive to changes in insulin and cortisol and estrogen, these foods create even more hormonal noise. They also create problems for children who are just starting to develop hormonally. We're seeing a lot of people going through puberty much earlier than they did 100 or 200 years ago. And a lot of this may be driven by certain compounds in our foods. If you've ever thought that your appetite is unpredictable, or you need caffeine to get through the day, you get hangry easily, or if you just feel out of control with your cravings, it's not because you're weak or under-disciplined. It's because your hormones are being pulled in 20 different directions by foods that were never designed for human physiology. Your body isn't the problem. The system is. Now let's change gears and talk about another very underrated hormone disruptor, which is blue light, especially at night. So your hormones run on a clock. If you've heard of things like the circadian rhythm, there's a timing system that your body tells you when to wake up, when to sleep, when to produce cortisol, when to convert thyroid hormones, when to release reproductive hormones. And much of this system is regulated by light. So when you're staring at your phone or your laptop in the evening or late at night, or just sitting in a brightly lit room, your brain gets the signal that it's daytime. So cortisol might rise, melatonin might drop, and your nervous system stays activated. And then this has a ripple effect on everything. Your sleep, your insulin, your metabolism, your appetite, your mood, even your energy the next day. And then you wake up tired despite getting a full 8 hours of sleep. Or you feel wired at night and then really tired in the morning. Now, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to never look at a screen again. But just be mindful that reducing these lights at night and getting sunlight in the morning is really fundamental for your hormonal landscape. And this is really one of the simplest, most powerful hormone tools that you have. But let's take a moment to talk about stress. Not in the relax more, meditate more way that a lot of people are told to do. I mean physiologic stress. So your body interprets stress the same way, whether it's emotional stress or physical stress, like you're ill, you've had a surgery, you're in pain, logistical stress, mental stress, it's all interpreted the same way. And cortisol, which is your stress hormone, is designed to help you survive. But when cortisol is constantly elevated or constantly disrupted, it will interfere with almost every hormonal signal in your system. Your thyroid, your insulin, sex hormones, appetite, sleep, everything. Here's how I often explain stress to patients. Imagine you have a bucket. Every stressor adds water to the bucket. Work, relationships, parenting, multitasking, rushing to get everything done, managing everyone's needs, worrying about things, getting not enough sleep. And at first, that bucket can hold it. But then eventually, it starts to fill. And one day, it spills over. And the spillover is when you start to feel wired but exhausted. You know, you can't relax, you can't calm down, but you are so drained. You're more reactive. You're more emotional. You get more cravings. This eventually starts to lead to more weight gain, more fatigue, more trouble falling asleep. And it's this vicious cycle. And a lot of people think these symptoms mean there's something wrong with their body. But really, it's not the person. It's the bucket. And the solution isn't to get rid of all stress all the time. That's unrealistic. But it's to drain the bucket more often and more intentionally. Even small things can make a difference. Taking a short walk, getting some fresh air. If you can't get outside, doing a few minutes of breathing exercises, getting daylight exposure, giving yourself the permission to say no more often. It doesn't have to be a full lifestyle overhaul. You don't need to quit your job or get rid of your kids. It's about creating more space for your nervous system to recover, and it is incredibly important. Now, the last disruptor I want to touch on is low movement, especially strength loss. We live in a society where we sit too much, and muscle is one of the most powerful endocrine organs you have. It interacts with insulin, it interacts with inflammatory pathways, it changes your metabolism in ways that most people do not realize. I tell my patients, muscle equals metabolism. The more you have, the faster your metabolism will go. And when you lose muscle or you just don't use it, not only does your metabolism suffer, but your insulin response suffers. You start to develop more insulin resistance, which leads into high blood sugars, prediabetes, and then diabetes. You will also notice more energy dips. You start to store more fat rather than burning it. And you literally burn fewer calories at rest. But movement doesn't have to be extreme to be effective. Walking after meals is one of the most hormonal supportive habits that you can build. Even adding strength training just a few times a week can make a huge impact on your overall body composition. Remember, as you get older, you start to lose muscle much more than when you were younger. So prioritizing building muscle and strength training as you age is absolutely necessary to maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Your muscles are really this metabolic engine, and maintaining them is key to hormonal stability. So let's bring this all together. What I really want you to take away from today's episode is that your hormones are not failing you. Your body isn't broken, but you're also not imagining these symptoms. It's not that you're just getting older and that we should brush it off. It's that your body and your hormones are responding to the world that we live in. A world that honestly asks too much, moves way too fast, and exposes you to things your endocrine system was never designed to handle. The solution to this is not perfection. It's not eliminating everything. It's not living in a bubble or living in fear. It's about awareness and making simple shifts. Because when you make even small changes, like reducing plastics with heat or switching fragrance-heavy products to products that do not contain fragrance, choosing real foods over packaged foods, protecting your circadian rhythm, managing stress in tiny ways, and moving your body more often, your hormones will finally get to breathe again. Your energy will come back, your metabolism will improve, your mood will improve, sleep hopefully will deepen and you will get more restful sleep, and you'll finally feel like yourself again. And that's what we're aiming for. A life where your hormones support you instead of fighting against you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this episode made you think or helped you connect some dots, please share it with another person in your life. We all deserve to feel informed and empowered, not confused about our bodies. You can also follow me on Instagram at EndoHealthDoc for more wellness tips. I'll see you next time on the Wellness Protocol.